Morning everybody, and welcome to today's Q&A. For those of you that don't know, we're also a podcast. I am also a podcast. And what I'm going to do, if I can work it out, I've got on the new computer thing, on the old video editing, there's these interesting graphic things that are pinged up. As you can tell, I'm very much au fait with technology. Practically Bill Gates or Steve Wozniak, who built the Apple II in his garage. You don't care. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to do the little flashy podcast at the front, and because we're also on Facebook, and I am also on Facebook. I am also on Twitter. Forgive me if I don't reply. I'm still getting the hang of this stuff. And also there's the website. So I'm going to do some little things at the top. So should you want to subscribe to any of this stuff, feel free, or go to the website. You can watch the videos from the website. There's other stuff on the website. I'm going to do something. I'm trying to get into this kind of stuff. Like, it's what you're supposed to do to grow the channel. To get more money. Which in fairness probably won't work, but there you go. But anyway, to the task in hand. So today, the introduction, Wayne Rawlings says, as I said about last week, put your clocks back. He said, don't put your clock back, Peter. Put your clock forward. Spring forward, fall back. And Steve Campbell says, the North Circular isn't in the ULEZ, it's in the LEZ. Picky. Now, it all comes down to the fact that I've always said that everything on this channel is wrong, or at least largely erroneous. Take it all with a pinch of salt, and here's evidence. There you go. I have actually done one for the main name guy about YouTubers, about, don't believe everything you hear or listen to on YouTube, including me. And I might have to go up to 2 videos a week again, because I've done them, and I'll try and only do 1 a week, because I think I don't want to overload everybody, but at the same time I'm backing them up. So I'll do them, watch them, don't watch them. I think the thing probably is to have a look at the title, see if it's relevant to you, and if it's not, don't worry, So I've done one on Timberland boots. I did a little Life on the Road video. That might come out on Good Friday. Oh, don't forget Bank Holiday next week. So theoretically, I did one of these videos before on, see if I can do your link. And what are we on, 231? Theoretically, before the Bank Holiday, your job might not be worth more money, but people, particularly the Spring Bank Holiday, particularly the Easter Bank Holiday rather, by about Wednesday, Thursday, it should start to go a bit bonkers, because everybody wants everything done and dusted and sorted and out so they can sit down and enjoy their 4 days off. So this should be a good week. But then, the amount of times where I thought this is going to be, the amount of times when I used to be a market trader, where I went to market, set up a smashing store, brilliant, lovely gear, fantastic, sunny shine. I thought I'm going to have a mega day today. Nothing happened. And the times where I've got to work and it's grey and it's miserable and it's raining and the gear's a bit rubbish, I've put it out and gone, why did I even bother getting out of bed? Turn around and I'm mobbed. You just don't know. So we just have to wait and see, and I'm sure we'll discuss it afterwards. So this week's video was, should you charge extra for heavier loads? And the short answer is kind of yeah, really. It's not should you charge extra, but if they put it in the notes what the load is, you're going to get more for it. I know that if I'm looking at something and I'm putting a bid in, my normal bid, £3 a mile in an 18 tonne, £2.50 in a 7.5 tonne. It's not always easy to get. Sometimes you can get a bit more. If I look at it, if it says 14 pallets, I know I've got much more chance of winning it than if it says one 6.5 metre crate weighing 50 kilos, because the customer is going to, when they're coming back with these quotes of like 300-400, or say it's going just down the road, a quote of £200, it's got 200 quid to move a box, 30 minutes away. Whereas if it's 200 quid to move 14 pallets 13 minutes away, different kettle of fish. Anyway, what you guys had to say. Shane Hardy says, read the notes unless you're Pete, and then go rushing in and forget rule number 1. Yep, told you. World's worst courier driver. Still don't know what I'm doing. Domain name guy says, always better wasting 5 minutes on the phone, e.g. to the shipper or courier agency, clarifying what is involved, weights, pallets, postcode, stuff like that. It's my mate, Simple Brian, always said, less haste, more speed. Is that, or more haste, less speed, something like that. And he said, just taking 5 minutes. Just before, when you're checking the notes, just read it. Hang on a second, it says 5 pallets on here. There was supposed to only load me with 4. And you walk back in and go, mate, you sure it's only 4? Oh, no, hang on. Oh, you're right, there's another one in the corner. It might take you another 10, 15 minutes to get loaded, but it saves the grief when you're half an hour away and the shipper rings you and goes, yeah, you forgot one, you've got to go back. And then it's, well, whose fault was that, you know? So, Van on the Run said, I would say if you quote hire for a job which is a heavier load, you are unlikely to get it, as most won't quote hire. Also, my experience was that most shippers didn't list the weight or indeed any load details. This is true. Normally it just says wanted 7.5 tonne. I always quite like it when it says wanted 18 tonne curtain, because I'm thinking they didn't mention tail lift on there, and a lot of 18 tonnes haven't got a tail lift. So it's got to be forked on, forked off, because otherwise how are they expecting to get it off? And then you turn up and it's like a pile of handball. Forked on, taken off the side by hand. He said, I found the exception with alcohol or anything that may require heavy handball. I got these at higher rates. That said, there was a Scouse courier company who were posting alcohol jobs without saying that they were expecting people to do them expecting people to do it for normal rates. One guy turned up and refused to do the loads on religious grounds. We used to have a driver when we was doing the ill-fated Van Gogh network way back in the day, and he refused to take alcohol, but not on religious grounds. He says, I'm not doing it. He says, it's drugs. I'm not doing it. So, you know, it's fair play. You can turn up. I mean, again, if you turn up and you're obviously not going to get paid for the job. I don't think it's fair to get, I don't think they can really give you negative feedback. So you just sent me in to pick up. And also some alcohol should be classified as ADR, I believe. One for the wise guys there. How does that one work? I kind of think that if it's over a certain alcohol percentage, it's actually classified as ADR. So, you know, let me know on that one. We'll put that one out. Tony Mason says, always be suspicious when the shipper sends a job over first. It's probably going to be a rubbish one. That's not necessarily so, Tony, to be honest with you. I mean, only yesterday, I was talking to a guy on the phone and I was bidding on a job, Milton Keynes to Haverhill, just the other side of Cambridge. And the guy says, give me 2 minutes. And first of all, he said, can you do that one down to Romford? And I went, no, I can't, because it's zone. And then he said, give me 2 minutes. I went, okay, fine. Sure enough, the phone didn't ring. I sat there 5-10 minutes. And then I'm looking at other jobs, and I thought, I'll just double check. I went through to received, and there it was, sitting there. Because I was still bidding on other jobs, so kind of lucky. But so sometimes it doesn't hurt just to keep checking your received. I think when I was an only driver and I just had the app on my own, it would just ping up. But now it's kind of small fleet is kind of different. But yeah, worth checking out, because I've had it before where I've actually had, even when I was only a driver, I think, was bidding on other jobs, accepted a job, went into my received and realised that someone had sent a job through without even ringing me. In which case I had to ring her back and say, that job you sent through to me, I can't do it anymore because you didn't phone me to tell me you were giving me it, and now I've taken another one. And they kind of went, oh, okay, fair enough. And finally on the subject, Christian Grace is still quoting £3 a mile after the price increase. Doesn't seem enough. To be honest, Christian, the way things are out at the moment, you're lucky to get £3 a mile. We're taking slightly less. If jobs are plentiful, you can get good money. You can get over the top money. If jobs are not plentiful, you take what you can get. And at the moment, as long as you're making money and the wheels are turning, that's better than just having lorries sitting there. So, right. This week on the Wise Guys, this is to do with Taco Master Matt Jones. He says when reading the analysis for drivers, what do the different colours mean? I don't know. So anybody who does Taco Master better than me, I've got to see a new transport. I've got a very busy day today. It's Saturday and I've got loads on. I've got 2 lorries coming down for inspection, plus 1 lorry here for inspection, plus mine may get serviced. It needs to get serviced. I've got the kit ready. Mark might be doing it right now. I've got to repair Harry's curtain. He's got a rip in it again. And 2 straps need doing. I've got to meet a new transport manager, which is why I'm up at 6 with all the lights on recording this. Dedication to the channel. There you go, guys. Send checks to... No, you're all right. Yeah, so if anyone does Taco Master, he says, when reading the analysis for drivers, what do the different colours mean? Matt, I don't know, but as soon as I find out, I'll get back to you. Right, on trucks this week. Brian Webb, who's Ian's dad. Hello, Brian. How you doing, mate? Might see you up the yard. Who knows? They run out the same place as I do. This is hi Pete. It's I have 50 years experience in road transport. My motto was always my rate or no rate. If you don't want to pay my rate, I don't want your work, and that worked for me. I don't think that the CX would work for me. With where you have to do cut rate jobs to get the job, and sit and wait for confirmation to see if the job has come through. Like, I've had companies say that they can get it done cheaper. My answer was always, go on then. See you later. Like, in road transport, always be in control of your own destiny. I am the same today as I was in 1972. It's my way or no way. Brian, I know that you are much wiser about this stuff, and I'm sure, but I think you have the advantage there of being established. I think there are a lot of people out there that are established. The way I speak to Ian as well. So we've got our customers, we've got it. We pick up a load, we take it, we drop it. That's kind of it. That works for us. And I would love to be in that position, but at the moment I'm kind of at that beginning stage, and I'm not floundering, but I wonder if maybe competition now is slightly different to what it was, and all that kind of stuff. I dare say that what you say is right, but it reminds me of a time again when I was on the markets, and the prices of everything was going up. So I used to sell Fruit of the Loom t-shirts. In the beginning we could buy them for 37 pence. Then it was 60, then it's 65. But the price was always £1. Jeffrey, who was selling the t-shirts, my mate Jeffrey Spiro, turned around and he said, well, it's easy, just put the price up to 150. I said, the problem is, Jeffrey, £1, I'll sell 100 t-shirts a day. I put the price up to 150, I'll sell 4. So it's not that straightforward. It's all very well and saying, this is the price, take it or leave it. And everyone says, fine, I'll leave it. And you go, right, I haven't got any work. But I do believe, I mean, obviously you're much better than me, like, but I'll find my way, mate. Who knows? He also goes on to say, he says, I think you want a magician, not a transport manager. We'll find out. I'm meeting Harry Potter this morning, so we'll see, like, so... And I was on the wise guy. I've confused myself with that one. Red Stretford says I'd avoid shippers that say I'm going to charge you £1 if you take the load, because we did a video on that. I said the thing is, if you've got a job and they ring you up and say you bid, I don't know, 90 quid on it, and it's like, do you want that job? But you're only going to get £88. I'm unlikely to go no. I don't know, I just hang up and I may or may not get another job for 2 quid, I'll probably spot it. I've had shippers ring me up and they'll go, look, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. They say, right, you've bid £200 on this job. The best I've got on it is 180, or I've got another bid in for 180, can you match it? And then if I can match it, and if I want it, I'll go on then. And if I can't, I'll go, no, give it the other guy. Well, no, I'm ever so sorry, that's the best price I can do, it's up to you. Sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. Negotiation, wonderful thing. Right, now we're on to miscellaneous. Momentum Light Haulage says, hi Pete, first would like to say thanks for all the videos, that's okay mate. He said they've saved me a lot of trouble and definitely helped me in the process of making work on the videos. Well, that's why they're there. They weren't there when I started, and that's how the whole thing started. And if you can help somebody go through life with a little bit less grief, that's got to be a good thing, isn't it really? Cost me a bit of time. I get a bit of money off the Google ads. Used to get a few quid off of Circuit. Oh, there's a new mob out there that have got another multi-drop thing. I might be doing a video for them, be honest. But they've kind of got some good ideas. And they're a young startup. And I like a young startup. It's kind of me. I'm a young startup, except for I'm really old. Starting to look like a tortoise. Actually, my wife says I look like the Zig and Zag. Can you do that? Tea, coffee. No, it's tea coffee. We've only got one flask. Yeah, gone off on one again, haven't I? So, right, where was we? So, watch your videos on factoring companies, but I still have a question. When you start working with factoring companies, in order for them to get paid, do you simply change your bank details with theirs on the invoice and send them to the customers? Thanks. Yes, I do. Because a lot of these people turn around and go, we don't deal with factoring companies. So what to do is put your transport name on, but the factoring company's bank details, and then theoretically they won't know it's a factoring company unless they've dealt with that factoring company before, see the bank details and go, that's a factoring company, we're not paying. We told you we weren't paying factoring companies, in which case what you have to do is turn around and go, fair enough, put that invoice in the bin. I'll send you another invoice with my bank details on it, proper bank details, and you can pay that. And then when they don't pay you in 2 months' time, you ring them up and go, where's my money? They might pay, you never know. But yeah, some people don't deal with factoring companies, in which case you have to invoice them directly. But on the whole, most people do. It's not the factoring company they get umbrage with, it's the letters. And as long as you do your own credit control and say to the factoring company, I don't want you sending out any letters because you always get it wrong, then why should they get the needle? Steve Watkins, that's probably wrong, by the way. Anybody who tells me I'm wrong, tell me why, and then I'll tell everybody else why I was wrong. Steve Watkins says, hi Pete, first thing I do when I get a tail lift delivery, this is do with pump trucks, I ask the customer if they have a pallet truck. If they do have one, I ask to borrow it. I use my pump truck in the vehicle to move the pallet onto the tail lift, lower it onto the floor when the customer's pallet truck and load from the tail lift. Now that works well on a Luton, because if you've got you can work well on a Luton, so you can, there's your tail lift, pump truck it in, take the pump truck out, get on the tail lift, drop the tail lift, walk off the tail lift, get the pump, boom, boom. What I find better is, because that's a lot of towing and throwing, is get the pump truck, put it onto the tail and swing it round. So you put it on the tail like that, drop the tail, and then when you're at the bottom, swing it off that way. That's probably, swing it off that way. And unless, if they've got a pump truck, if they're prepared to wait at the bottom, which is much better, you pump it onto the tail, drop the tail, and then the bloke at the bottom pumps it off. And then as he pumps it off, up goes the tail, and you've got the second one on the tail going down, ready for meet him, and then you've got two people working on it. That works better. But I understand what you're saying. It depends on the size of the tail lift. It can be tricky sometimes to get the pump truck and the tail, the pump truck and the pallet on the tail, in which case that will work better. Maybe we'll do a dedicated video on that. Maybe, I'm falling behind. And we've had a few on sleeping on the van. So we've had a few updates on sleeping in on the van. That'd be high up, wouldn't it? So it depends how high your van is, but definitely higher than the floor. Sleeping in the van. White Van Man says the L2 Vauxhall Combo small van has a load area between 1.2 and 1.9 and 2.1 metres angled bulkhead. I'm not sure how it will work and be comfortable. I'm 6'2" tall. I've got a camp bed from Amazon here that is about half size packed from the one I returned. Haven't got it out of the box yet, but hoping it will work. Let me know how it goes, because a few of you might be sleeping in the van in the summer and there might be a comfortable way to do it. Like I said, my man said the best way to do it, and he only had a small van, was a 6-leg carp bed, I think they're called. They're designed for people that go overnight fishing, and it folds away, sits in the front, and then you unfold it. But the 4-leg stays in the middle, but the 6-leg is much better. How much space it takes up when it's compacted, I don't know, because I can't sleep in my lorry. I'm not allowed to. It's travel lodge for me. It's Lenny Henry Hotel for me, like, you know. So, which are getting expensive. Leachy says, I'm going to be using my Nash 6-leg carp fishing bed. I presume that's what it is. It's a Nash, is it? Fair enough. It's so comfy, plus fully adjustable. So it strikes me this Nash 6-leg carp bed seems to be, the carp fishing bed seems to be the way forward. If anyone's used one, let me know. Ricky Davidson says, I run a Peugeot Partner. The front panel collapses and can set up set up a bed through the passenger side. That's a really good idea. So basically, in the cab, the front folds down, so you can sleep across it. Why haven't they thought of that before? I kind of had that in, what's her name? Alice. I did a video on that, didn't I? See if we can do a video on that one. Because Alice used to, you could like take the front seats down, and then the bed was at the back. It was a day bed and would fold down. Brilliant. Because you still got, and also because you've got a bit of space behind you when you're in distribution centres, pull the seat, nice little recline. Now I sit there like that. Day cabs are really uncomfortable. I don't like them. I mean, Veronica's a fantastic motor. I just wish she had some more space in the front. He says, very comfortable with yourself. Never come across a job where I haven't had enough room in the back. But then he also says, I'm also insane. I don't know, Ricky. It sounds to make perfect sense to me, my friend. And finally, in conclusion, this week, Luke Van Gap, who's in Australia. Have a lovely holiday, mate. He says, greetings from Australia. I'm on my holidays. I've just spotted a short wheelbase Vito van with a tail lift. So they do exist. It was a motorcycle transport company. Had to tell the only people who'd appreciate it. My wife just rolled her eyes. So presumably he went to the Australians and went, there's this guy with a channel. please subscribe. So that's it. So I would like to say I've hopefully done some graphics. So if you want to, we're on the, and also they're in the link below. So we're on the podcast. This is all a podcast now, so you can listen to it when you're driving if you haven't got time on a Sunday. Let's face it, everyone's got better things to do than look at me. And we're on the Facebook, and we're on the Twitter, and what's the other one? And the website. Everything's on the website. So that's it for another week. Like I say, bank holiday is coming up, which means you should, in an ideal world, I've got a funeral to go to. Well, mate, Dave died. I'm carrying a coffin and giving the eulogy. Yeah, sad. But yeah, so hopefully within the 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if you get it right, you might be able to make the same kind of money that you would do on a normal week, which means you could have a nice, relaxing Friday off. A nice 4-day week with a family, a little break before Christmas, before the many other unpaid bank holidays that we're getting. So enjoy your time off, spend time with the family, do something that you love, take care, but don't take any money.